Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about my vision. Uh, I've been cultivating this plan for about 20 years, uh, since I was a teenager, and now it's here it is. So we're gonna be doing this starting next year, probably this year, but anyway, anybody who wants in on this is welcome to join. This is open to the whole world, poor, rich, fat, skinny, big, small, girl, boy, doesn't matter. This is a plan for actual human nurturing and evolution. I don't think our world is designed for human growth. It's designed for human I guess slavery. That's the first word that came to my mind, and I'm not gonna. Anyway, here's the plan. Kin's domain. Is a place of love. It's a place for you and your family. If you don't have a family, it's a place for you to get ready for your family. If you've already had a family and you are older and they're all moved out, this is a place for you to grow old and to enjoy your life and to live as you intended. So Kin's domain is for your family, and this is all of your human needs. I'm not talking about, well, I won't get into that. I'm just talking about your actual needs. Humans need a good place to sleep. They need a good place to eat. You need a good place to go to the bathroom, to take care of your hygiene. And beyond that, humans need community. We need an intimate connection with the land. Don't think that's not true. It's very true. We need an intimate connection with others. Anyway, my point isn't to list out all these things that we need. My point with this video is just to share my vision, because we're getting started. Kin's domain is the family unit, and this is what we're building, and this is what we're selling, and this is what you people are getting. You're getting a Kin's domain. On the Kin's domain, let's look at it like this. This is how we're going to do it. Here's a Kin's domain. Inside that Kin's domain is your home. There's also your family's provisions, meaning water storage, energy storage, food storage. I'm not talking about a warehouse full. I'm just talking about like reserves, enough to feel like your family could withstand a couple of hard weeks or a couple of hard months if nature brought that upon you, or if global catastrophe brought that upon you. The point isn't to look at it through a lens of scarcity or fear, though. It's provisions. How many of you would sleep better at night knowing that, like, if you didn't go to the store for the next month or 2 months, your family's still doing all right? Anyway, home, food and water provisions, and then this whole thing, see that goofy smiley face, is your family's ability to grow food, to have ornamental gardens, for children to run around barefoot, playing, exploring the wonders of the natural world. This is your Kin's domain, and on a Kin's domain you can have a pond, you can have an orchard with trees. It's beginning to look a lot like a cell. This cell, we would replicate it. You'd have neighbors. None of them would be replicated identically because the land is not identical. And even in broad expanses of flat land, we would differentiate these to where these neighborhoods will won't look like something out of a post-World War II workers camp type deal. Gosh, I always say the dumbest crap. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to describe my idea. It's not my idea. I said this in my other video. It's an idea that came to me as a young boy, and as I grew older, I have been acquainted with many others who have had similar ideas. I took the name Kin's Domains from the books The Ringing Cedars of Russia by Vladimir Migry, and that's where I got the name Kin's Domain, because it makes the most sense. And so that's what we're doing. When you replicate enough of these, you get big neighborhoods. And once these neighborhoods get big enough, you get all these stacked next to each other. You have space in between them for migratory animals to move freely. This space between them can be communal space, like a big fire pit for gatherings. This can be a community vineyard, a community orchard, and things like parks. You can get over to where we can have a street, and we've got shops for the Kin's Domains owners to sell their goods. I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job of describing this, but let me think. Okay, let me get to the meat. This is a hill, and this is well, we can actually go smaller. We can even do these like 1 acre. Let's say that this is 1 acre. Your whole land. Our plan is to buy up some of these pristine farmlands that are getting sold off to all the mega corporations in China. We need to buy some of these up for the people. We've already got our eyes set on some. We buy up these lands that are about 1,000 acres. We subdivide them into 1 acre parcels, and on these 1 acre parcels, we are creating a ecosystem for human beings to thrive. Not cheap cookie cutter houses that fall down after 10 years or need constant repair. I'm talking about actual human caring, actual human needs, and long-term thriving. On each individual Kin's Domain, we're going to be selling them for as cheap as possible. The endeavor here is not to make a profit. The endeavor here is to help steer humanity away from the cliff that we're all walking off of with our weird ways. Anyway, so each parcel will get a house. This house is not just some little trailer park trailer. What it is it's a resilient thermal mass bearing, solar gain collecting, water harvesting, electrical producing, food growing, needs meeting building for human beings. And there's a lot that goes into this. This is the stuff that I stay up and think about all night. What goes into the actual house. But for the sake of what I'm doing, let's describe what comes on each Kin's Domain. These houses are not $400,000 houses. These houses are zen. These houses are simple. They provide for you and your family's needs, as well as comforts, and they're gonna be about $60,000. You think I'm fucking crazy? $60,000 house $50,000 piece of land and about another $30,000 worth of land improvements, such as septic, which feeds into a greenhouse, or a similar area of growing trees, treating sewage on site. Every unit treats its own sewage. There'd be some landscaping to create not just terraces, but swales, so that we'd be transforming whatever land that this is on, retaining more water on the land, creating more biodiversity, enriching the soil, regenerating the overall ecology of any land that this takes place on. So one KINS domain will get you, this is also your pantry. Everything on the KINS domain is designed to operate at least 80% without any additional maintenance or input. What I mean by that is your food storage, which is important for any family, especially one that's growing food. You need a good place to store it where it's not going to spoil or be subject to pests. So state-of-the-art cellars that are basically a walk-in fridge to store all of your family's reserves, a septic system, and water catchment. So there's also cisterns and things like that pipe water up to the house. This is being drawn a lot more complicated than it needs to look. So the KINS domain will come with house, which is human centered. We'll get into that more in future videos if I need to. It comes with water systems. It comes with some basic power systems. This also includes septic as well. And after that, it's basically an open canvas for your family. These neighborhoods would not really have a whole lot of regulations as far as an HOA is concerned, but what they would have is a few rules, such as you're not allowed to accumulate garbage all over your property. This is not the kind of project for people who just want to collect 40 or 50 junk cars or tons of washing machines. This is not the projects. This is not a humanitarian, poor people helping. What am I trying to say? The goal is to get these homes and homesteads to people that need them for as cheap as possible, and for the result to be something that is more valuable than the sum of all of its parts. So we'll just leave it at that. I want to sell these for $150,000 to $200,000. This is going to be financed by a private financer, not a bank. It'll all be on blockchain and probably incorporate a lot of crypto. The point here is to make owners, not more consumerist slaves. Families need to own a small part of the country that they live in, or they have very little patriotism or whatever to the land. So the point is to get people to be able to own it for as cheap as possible, but without being garbage cheap. We're not looking for cheap. We're looking for cut all the fat out of the capitalist system that we've all grown so accustomed to. I'm not knocking capitalism. I love capitalism, but the point of this is human-centered, not profit-centered. Okay. This is for our future and for our children and for future generations. This is not for power, money, or any of those things. Also, I just obsess about building these buildings and about working the land and building swales and water catchment, and that's all I want to do. I just want to go build these and just shut my stupid mouth. Anyway.